Thanks to Hot Click Marketing for supporting this video. For more information, go to their website. Well, Jim Tolmie, a player I remember back in the 1980s. Thanks very much for joining me. What do you remember of your time at City? You were at Maine Road for what, 2 and a bit seasons, and you were there when Billy McNeil was the manager who brought you in, wasn't he?
Yeah, Billy brought me in. Yeah, I was actually signing for Celtic until Billy got the sack at Celtic, and then he phoned me up a few weeks later and told me that he was going to a big club in England. Didn't say who it was, but he would take me down to England with him, and obviously it turned out to be Man City. And when we got there, it was a club in crisis at that time. Really, no money, absolutely everything was checked. You couldn't take anything, blah blah blah. But it was a fantastic time. I mean, to walk out at Main Road was, for the first time against Barnsley, as I remember, was just a fantastic experience. And to have I think it was over 20,000 people there that day. It was just incredible for a club in that division. And I would say fantastic times. And it was 3 seasons I was there, Ian. Yeah, it was. The Charlton game was possibly my last game that season for City. Because
it was certainly the last game that season. I mean, that was the 5-1. That was when the Kipax was heaving with a crowd. I mean, it was a red hot day, as I remember. And Paul Simpson had absolute blinder that day, didn't he, in terms of his performance?
Well, Paul turned up. Probably played about 9 games towards the end of that season. He was really a big player for us. I can remember him scoring a few goals, 6 or 7 goals, I think he scored in that time. So he was a massive player for us. And that day as well, I mean, we were down to the bare bones that day. We had injuries, we had suspensions. I mean, I really shouldn't have played myself, in all honesty, because after the Portsmouth game, when we beat Portsmouth down there, I fell ill on the bus coming back, and my ulcer kicked in. I had an ulcer at that time, and ended up in hospital for, I think, about 10 days, where I missed I think it was Oldham and Notts County. I think I missed those 2 games, and then get back into training for a couple of days. McNeil asked me to play centre midfield, which a position I don't think I'd ever played for City at that time, really. But I'll never missed it for the world. But as I said, it could have been my last game. Thinking about it at City, but obviously I got offered another year's contract after that, and I was obviously happy to sign it.
The expression I'd use that day at Main Road was, it would make the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. You had a big perm in them days.
I can remember someone coming into the dressing room. I didn't tend to go out onto the park before the game, but someone came into the dressing room and said, you should go out there and see the crowd. And I did go out, and it was just, there was more than 48,000 in there that day. I can assure you of that one. To me, it was about 60, possibly 70,000 crammed into that stadium that day. And it was an atmosphere I'll never, ever forget. Some of the scenes you see, some of the photos you see nowadays, you're just like, wow, that is just incredible.
You think the crowd actually made a difference that day? Because it was a very emphatic victory, wasn't it?
The crowd, the support we got that day, definitely, to walk out in front of that crowd that day gave you a big lift. And we got a good start. I think we scored pretty early with David Phillips scoring the first goal. And then Andy May scoring that tremendous header. It was just an incredible header. So that really settled us down and settled the crowd down as well, because, as you know, it can get very, very edgy in these sort of games. But to go 2-0 up, it's in the first half, it settled us down a lot, Ian. Yeah, definitely.
How long did you have that perm then, Jim?
I had it for quite a few years, to tell you the truth. I first got it in Morton around about 1978, and I continued to have it in Sweden my first year, and maybe first 2 years in Sweden. And that's when I probably changed it. So probably about 10 years or so, Ian, 10, 11 years. Yeah, it was a bit of a perm, all right.
Do you miss City?
Yeah, definitely. You miss Main Road. Main Road was an iconic stadium. It was just a fantastic stadium to play in. The supporters, the Kipax was just really something else. And you walked out on a Saturday, it was just a fantastic place to play in. Yeah, definitely. Miss it a lot. I miss football, obviously, in general a lot. But definitely playing there, yeah. And a day like that was just exceptional.
We just recently lost Pardo, who was a player I saw play. I also knew him as a coach. He also commentated me alongside me when I started off my commentary career on the gantry at Maine Road. You would have known him as a coach, I guess, at that time. What sort of a man was he to you?
Glenn was just the nicest man you could ever meet, really. I mean, we had Tony Book and Glenn as coaches, and Tony would be the bad cop and Glenn was always a good cop. He was always a real gentleman, as I remember, and always some of the stories he could tell you about the games he had played in, obviously, was fantastic. But honestly, a nicer man I couldn't meet. He was just fantastic. Great guy.
What have you done since you hung up your boots, Jim? What are you doing these days?
These days, for the last 20 years, Ian, I've been a private hire taxi driver, just in my local area up here in Glasgow. Obviously, after I left Manchester City, I went to Sweden for 5 years, which was a good experience. It was good to go to a different country and play football. And then I came back to my first club again, Morton, and finished my career there. But I said, for the last 20 years, I've been taxing. Basically, that's been it, really, yeah.
Have you still got friends in football?
Yeah. Neil McNabb is probably one of my biggest friends. Yeah, I got on really well with Neil at Manchester City. Apart from that, at City, nobody really. Mostly from my old club, my first club, Morton, where we had a really good team at the time. I've still got a lot of friends from there.
Have you heard from Neil recently? Because I know he had bad health, and we were in contact with his son a little bit, and things seem to be improving. Is he on the mend now? Is he a lot better than he was?
I don't really know. No, I Facebook him now and again, and I don't really get much feedback back from Neil. It's just one-liner sort of thing, you know, a wee love heart or a thank you or whatever sort of thing. So I'm not sure of his health at the moment, Ian. I'm not 100%. I know it was a massive heart attack he had a few years ago, and it really affected him. So I don't really know his situation, to tell you the truth.
Well, when you're in contact with him, I know there are an awful lot of City fans who would want to send their best wishes to him, including me, of course. So please pass that on if you talk to him. And on behalf of all the City fans who love watching you play back in the 1980s, a big thank you for talking to me as well and sharing a few of your memories.
You're more than welcome, Ian, and thank you very much for inviting me on here. It's absolutely fantastic. Make an old man happy.
Big shout out to the 3 companies that have supported the products that I put out under the Forever Blue title throughout the year, the podcast and the vlogs. See you all soon.